Yeah, thanks, Brandon. Good team win tonight. Really have a lot of respect for the way these guys have fought all year long, but especially after a couple tough losses. Come up here and things didn't go great at the beginning of the game, but then they just kept battling and had a really good second half. Defensively, we played well. Gave up 3 points. It's a good team effort all the way around. Offensively, as I said, got off to a little bit of a slow start, but second half was good. I thought our conditioning helped us. We ran the ball when everybody knew we were going to run it, and that was good. Our offensive line did a nice job, but our backs really were outstanding. They made a lot of yards and the ball in their hands after they caught it or after the first guy hit them on tackle. So, that was really good. Just happy for the team's success. These guys have worked hard, they earned it, and we emptied out the tank tonight and go back to fill it up this week and get ready for Stanford.
Where does the resilience come from this team to not buckle? Because a lot of teams, that would be a lot of weight that they might crumble under, but this one didn't.
Yeah, well, when you put a lot into it, it's hard to surrender. So, these guys have been working hard and they just kept battling.
In control of the game, how much of a spark did he kind of provide for you guys in that point of the game?
Yeah, it's great. When you see guys do what he did, down the sideline. He stiff arm. Got about another 30 or 40 yards on the touchdown run. Did a real good job of finishing the touchdown on the toss play, getting his pads down and running through the goal line and all that. It's just you see guys make plays with the ball in their hands and are hard to tackle, and it gets everybody fired up. So, but I thought all our backs did it. They ran hard. They ran a good pad level. And once again, the backs ran a good ball security. Our turnovers haven't come from the run backs; they've come from other positions. So.
How did you sort of try to navigate that when you found out he was going to be the starter as opposed to maybe Collins or another guy? And do you change something at that point, or you just sort of stick to what you've been drilling the last couple of days?
I'd say we basically stuck to it, but you have to be aware of who that player is or was, and that definitely caught us a little bit by surprise. But I know from experience, you can't. It's a short week. You can't change your whole offense in a week, and so
sure.
you do what you can do for the quarterback, but the other 10 guys, you try to stay consistent with them. And I know they were going through some changes on the offensive line, with Washington at guard and Cruz at center. So there's a little bit of some moving parts there, and a new center with a new quarterback. So that's tough. I know Coach Brown. I'm sure that was something he had to deal with this week, and that was a challenge. But I think once the game got going, we just tried to play our coverages and try not to let the quarterback beat us with his legs. And, he got out a couple times, but overall we did a decent job on it.
Was that sort of key to keep him from settling in?
I think the big thing was really the running game. When you take away the running game, then it just makes it a lot harder. If you can't take away the running game, then the passing game becomes a lot easier. And coverage is always good. The quarterbacks are more comfortable and they're not under pressure. Being able to stop the running game and then eventually play with the lead, those things help us a lot in second.
How would you assess how they played tonight, and how have they been growing recently to get to the point where they could play the kind of reps they did tonight?
Yeah, Jordan in particular has done a really good job for us. He's continuing to improve in practice, and we gave him some playing time early in the game, and then unfortunately when Chad went out, Austin went to center, which he's been practicing as our backup center, so we kind of were ready for that move. Obviously didn't want it to happen, but when Chad wasn't able to go back, then Austin went in for him, and Osteen stayed at guard. So and then Miles has been getting some snaps on the right side. We're fortunate that we have that kind of depth and guys were able to step in there and play well. But Pulaski's a natural center, so I don't think that was as big an adjustment for him as it might be for somebody else. It was really just better execution. It wasn't like we had a whole bunch of new plays or anything. We just, I think, executed a little bit better. And again, our backs made some good runs. We got a few holes open, and then the backs made yards on the run, and they ran hard. And 3 yards became 7, and those things add up pretty quickly. We skipped a lot of third downs. We rarely get first downs on first and second down, so we weren't in a lot of third down situations like we were in the first half. and that was helpful too. Barely. Yeah, no, it was a little bit of a scramble before the game, but it is what it is.
How'd you kind of go about learning his play style beforehand?
Well, again, you can't change a whole offense in 6 days. So again, a lot of things they've done is had a different guy doing it, and he's very athletic and had some running ability that we were a little more conscious of. But in the end, it's still their offense.
Who's responsible for setting the protections, whether it's Gino or the center, or if that's a combination of the two? And then in the second half, what were the adjustments like? Because it seemed like you guys started to move the pocket a little bit to kind of create more time for Gio.
Yeah, they pressured us a lot in the first half. We probably got pressure on 75% of the plays, with either linebacker pressure or perimeter pressure, or a couple times both. And that caused some negative plays. There's some no gains, and got us into third down, and we weren't able to convert on third down. Yeah, the protections are always a combination of the quarterback and the offensive line. Everybody needs to be on the same page, so the quarterback needs to know who's not blocked, so that if that person rushes, that we have a way to beat him with the throw, and the offensive line. Again, they did a good job of moving Trumbull and their defensive ends at times off the ball. They had that third down package. And so Buxton didn't play today, so they had a different look with the linebackers on the end of the line, and played Trumbull off the ball more than, well, they'd done that. But there was some different looks there. And, that certainly, especially on the road with the crowd noise, is a challenge for the offensive line. So, they did give us some trouble in the first half. Absolutely, they ran a couple 3-man games that that I got pressure on. I don't think they sacked us on, but they were right on top of the quarterback, and made him get rid of the ball. So they do a good job. Coach Brown does a good job with that package, and similar to what we use, to be honest with you, on third down. And it was it was effective in the first half. I mean, we were 1 for 7 on third down or whatever it was. So they did a good job with it.
What are your thoughts on Fran and what he's done with this program?
Yeah, I mean, I think Fran's done a great job. I mean, last year, you can't do much better than he did last year. He set almost every school record offensively. Had a great season, and then just turnover like there always is, and had a great win against Clemson. He really dominated that game, and we were starting quarterback, and then deal with some other injuries on both sides of the ball, and things turn around quickly. And, we all know in football, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And we were probably fortunate to get them, as opposed to the week they played Clemson. Maybe they were fortunate, they played us that week too. We weren't so good. So, but it's just one of those things. I think he's a good coach, done a good job. He recruits well. Team plays hard. They played, they have a good scheme. They certainly gave us a lot of problems in the first half with their defensive scheme. And as I said, offensively last year, I mean, I don't know how you could break any more records than they broke in one season. I mean, it's broke two dozen records. I don't know. I lost track. It was a lot.
Anybody he reminds you of with his combination of the different skills?
I mean, look, he's had some good games, and he's a good back. At least doesn't carry away now.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Jim Brown or Ernie Davis.
I'm just curious if there's maybe not those
I
guys.
don't think
But
we're quite in that league yet. It's
Okay.
too early to get the bus ready for the Hall of Fame. But he works hard. He does a good job. He's getting better. We'll see where it goes. Glad we have him, and he's certainly taking advantage of his playtime reps, both in the running game and the passing game. He needs to improve his blitz pickup. He needs to, refine some other skills, but he's certainly getting there, and he's been a big plus for us. So glad we have him. Love Juju, but I think pump the brakes a little bit on
fair enough.
the Hall of Fame nominations.